friends, Mrs. Reed here, back to share another chapter book read-aloud story with you. Today I'm going to start reading chapter 1 of Horrible Harry and the Dragon War by Suzy Kline. And you might notice I've invited some friends to join us today. This is George, and if you remember from another story, this is Alex. Horrible Harry and the Dragon War. So this is a story about some third graders who were really good friends, but then they kind of got into an argument or a disagreement about a situation you'll find out about in chapter 1. And then it turned into a war, meaning like it was a big deal. So let's find out what happens with Harry and his friend who he gets in an argument with. So as usual, find your comfy space, sit back and relax, and be ready to be a listener. Chapter 1, Clouds of War. Boy. My name is Doug, so this is the person talking, the narrator. If you remember, we've talked about narrators and characters. My name is Doug. I'm in room 3B. Usually, I write stories about my best friend, Harry. He loves to do horrible things. Sometimes I write stories about Song Lee. She is the nicest person in 3rd grade. Once, I even wrote a story about how Harry and Song Lee got married. He's really using his imagination in that 3rd grade class. But that's an old story. This is a new one, and the most horrible of all. Harry and Song Lee's first fight. A fight that turned into a war. It all started with dragons. You'll notice I'm being joined by some friends. This is George, and if you remember, that's Alex. We were sitting on the rug having our morning snack. Harry was eating celery sticks with peanut butter. He says that the raisins down the middle are ants on a log. I've actually eaten that. And Sydney was munching on his usual apple with brown spots. And I was slurping my grape juice with a new twisty straw. Miss Mackle, our teacher, was peeling a tangerine when she broke the news. Our next project is going to be so much fun. Pick an animal from any story that you've read and find out all you can find out about it. If you recall, we've done this in school. Mary waved her yogurt spoon in the air. I know who I'm going to do. Charlotte from Charlotte's Web. Oh, just so happens. This is a great story. We'll read it soon. She saved Wilbur's life. Wilbur's the pig in the story. And Charlotte is a spider. And if you haven't already read it or heard it, you're going to love it. I'm doing Searchlight from Stone Fox, I said. I love that dog. She helped little Willie and his grandfather save their farm. These are the kids on the carpet having their snack, and that's Miss Mackle. That reminds me of one of our teachers in 1st grade. Actually, 2. Dibs on Templeton from Charlotte's Web, Sydney called out. He loves to eat like me. When Sid bit into another brown spot of his apple, Mary cringed. Only you would choose a rat, who is another character from Charlotte's Web. But I can see why. Then she pointed to Sid's snack. You both like rotten things. Sydney cackled, meaning he laughed, as he wiped the apple juice off his mouth with his shirt sleeve. Miss Mackle clapped her hands. I'm so happy that some of you already know which animal you want. Does anyone else have an idea? Song Lee raised her hand. Oh, I love dragons. Remember when you read my father's dragon story to us? Miss Mackle smiled. I sure do. It's one of my favorites. I read it again myself. Could I do my project on dragons? Song Lee asked. Before Miss Mackle could even say yes, Harry jumped up with his hand raised. His celery went flying into the air. Good gracious, peanut butter on the floor? No, no! It hit the blackboard, which in our classroom would be a smartboard. And it fell sticky side down, meaning peanut butter side down, on the rug. Oh. Songli giggled as she helped wipe up the peanut butter mess with her pink napkin. My grandmother read St. George and the Dragon to me last night, and it was so cool. See? Harry whipped the library book out of his backpack. I want to do dragons too. Everybody looked at the terrifying beast on the cover of his book. It was spitting fire. The teacher replied. Why not? They're mythical animals, meaning they're kind of imaginary as far as we know. You and Song Lee can work together. While Harry slapped Song Lee a high five, we all smiled. No one dreamed that Miss Mackle's decision was going to be deadly. Ooh. I think the weather knew, though, because the dark clouds circled our southeast school and thunder started to roll. When a tree branch tapped our classroom window, we stopped talking and looked up. Was the whistling wind trying to tell us something? Yes. Doom was coming to room 3B. And that, my friends, is the end of chapter 1. I hope you're interested in following with chapter 2, which is called the S word. So tune in next time. Thanks for being a listener, and I'll see you later.